everyone, it's Ellen here. I'm here today to introduce to you June's book for the Reading Ravens online book group, and I have chosen Stay With Me by Ayobami Adebayo. Now, this is Ayobami's first book, her debut book, and her only book so far. The reason I chose this book is, I have to say, it jumped out to me on the shelf at the library a few months ago. Never got round to reading it, so I thought now would be the best time. And then when I read the synopsis, I was intrigued, so I will read that to you now. Yejide is hoping for a miracle, for a child. It is all her husband wants, all her mother-in-law wants, and she has tried everything. But when her relatives insist upon a new wife, it is too much for Yejide to bear. Unravelling against the social and political turbulence of 1980s Nigeria, Stay With Me is a story of the fragility of married love, the undoing of family, the power of grief, and the all-consuming bonds of motherhood. It is a tale about the desperate attempts we make to save ourselves and those we love from heartbreak. Now, I wouldn't normally pick a book that's underpinned by politics, but I'm quite intrigued to see how this influences the plot, especially as the 1980s were a particularly unsettling time in Nigeria politically. I'm also really intrigued to read about the lengths that Yejide, her husband, and his family are willing to go to in order to have a child, particularly how this emotionally affects Yejide as well. The synopsis sort of suggests to me as if Yejide's motivation for carrying a child isn't necessarily her own willing to have a child. It seems to me that it might be a cultural expectation for her to give a child to her husband. So I'm really interested to go along the journey with Yejide and see what unravels. You should be able to borrow this book as an ebook and an e-audiobook. So you can borrow it through the Libby app as an ebook and the audiobook through BorrowBox. Now, I know someone did have trouble with borrowing the BorrowBox audiobook version of this book, so please let me know if you are having any problems, and I will report the issue as well. Otherwise, I really hope you enjoy the book. I will be checking back in with you in a few days to see how you're getting on with it. See you soon. Bye.